is for each table agree on the sector and the region which we will focus on customization.
Do you understand this slide? So what I'm telling, what I did in the customization of the mining sector, I changed this picture and only consider the mountains and the forests, and also consider the city, because we have a lot of we have one city very close to the mining site. So to persuade the people, I have to show them the reality of my company. I can go to my CEO and say about the main groups, because it's okay. To the CEO probably yes, but the manager of the site, why should I talk about main groups if I have so short time to try to persuade him? You know what I mean? I know that it's hard to say, but we have to focus in improvement. So how could you do that? So the idea here is like we should find like a sector, and how would you customize this slide for a sector? You have like, I don't know, oil companies. Probably the marine is very important for the oil company. But what the oil company, what the matter of the mountains for an oil company? Yeah. Okay, but the refinery is in the mountains. Okay, but you have to change it. No, you can. We are. Yes. You know where our customization should focus in one kind of company. It's all up to you. You want to have one.
We will evaluate which of these boxes are relevant to that specific sector.
Yes, we find one sector. It's all up to you.
We just choose a sector.
Yeah.
Okay. We have to choose the sector first and then.
Yes. Then we customize the presentation. We take these as problem an issue that you have in Turkey.
Tourism.
Okay. Tourism. In the tourism, I would consider all the yes, everything. But if do you have a special area in Turkey that it's under pressure? I don't know, the coast tourism or you know what I mean? Something, a specific area in Turkey that's under pressure because of the tourism.
If you take one of your problems,
I think it's the energy.
Energy. Okay, let's go for energy. What kind of energy?
Hydropower.
Hydropower. Okay. So how would you customize it for the hydropower?
Hydropower is relevant, of course, because they are using almost all the rivers, almost all running water. Most of them rapid flowing rivers, the mountain areas.
Which service is very important for the hydropower?
Service is very important for which ecosystem
For regulation.
the availability of water.
So if you know what I mean, if you want to talk with a CEO of a hydropower company, should you focus on what? If you are trying to persuade me, probably in the most important thing for me. Yeah. So you have it's easy to say, you need to preserve the forest around your lake, your dam, because you need to preserve the water cycle. So how would you customize this? Like, can you
turn this place into an
But yes, but if you consider hydropower, how would you talk to that? If you have like present
In Turkey, people are always rebelling about hydropower.
Yes.
they don't like that.
the argument, the discussion is like black and white. Who are against hydropower, they are totally against hydropower. It's just for and against. So it's not, there's no effort for a compromise.
Why would they be against it?
Because the government has issued like 1,000 licenses in 1 year, and the earlier total hydro plants, number of total hydro plants were only 800, and they just doubled it in 1 year without asking them. And they have
highly politicized because those who are opponents of the government, they actually want the government to fail his energy policy, his investment policy. And that's most of the people, that's why they are against it. Even if it is sustainable investment.
But how would you focus in the how would you do to customize this? How would you present this slide for a hydropower company?
I think the island and marine and coastal, they out the scope.
how about spawning area of concession?
In the mountain, forest and woodland, inland waters and rivers and wetlands, they are all relevant. All these three boxes. Drylands now, because there is not sufficient amount of water. Cultivated lands.
Yes.
Maybe because there is competition between agriculture and energy.
What do you use the water for? Electricity or do you use the water for?
That's why many locals are also against, because they don't know
Access to water.
So, summarize it.
So to summarize, I think these 4 boxes, which are the mountains, forests, and woodlands, and water.
It's in the water.
And I would take the mountains and the forest and the rivers and the dominant picture. So you would choose these boxes,
Yes.
you would also have it visual. What is it doing?
Always, if you are doing it, you have to train it. How would you use this slide to persuade this team? Would you talk about everything? Sometimes it doesn't make sense. For a specific, you can talk about like if you have a CEO or he knows about everything, but sometimes you are the manager of hydropower, he only knows about that, then you are going to talk about English.
Well, we don't even have mentors in our country.
Can you see?
Yeah, it's a great discussion. We're going to wrap up the
For the region.
Yeah, that's also for region, you know. Why should we talk about nature in Turkey?
Yeah, we don't have mentors.
Just like I go to my boss.
It's a landlocked country, it's an island and marine.
Yeah, imagine Switzerland, we are talking about the marine. In Switzerland, there's no ocean in Switzerland. We're going to talk about, I don't know, about rivers in the desert of Morocco. We are in Morocco, in the desert, we're going to talk about rivers or cities.
So the master copy of that.
Okay, so
Consider
let's have a quick feedback from our leaders.
Sector, we need to customize it.
That's the issue that we have in the business.
Okay, well, I'll start with our group over here. Our group decided to choose a manufacturing sector, a sportswear manufacturing company in particular, based in Chittagong in the south of Bangladesh on the coast. So what came out here was that being on the coast has its particular issues regarding storm surges and storm protection. So that was something that they highlighted was a big potential risk. But by the same token, climate change regulation is also another service which is enjoyed by a coastally located manufacturing company. With climate change impacting the severity and frequency of storms and natural disasters, that's also something else that they certainly depend on. But apart from looking at risk, we also looked at opportunities. One interesting thing about this area, this industrial park, is that there's been planted a lot of, I don't know how many was it? Well, several hectares of forest, and there's opportunities for ecotourism there as well. So we looked at it from several hundred hectares of forest that was planted. So, okay, so that's from our group. How about Deb Holland?
And we choose hydropower in Turkey. So the most important things would be the mountains, the forest, woodlands, and rivers and wetlands. But we will not consider the coastal area, island marines, and as they told us, there is no mangroves in Turkey, so it doesn't make sense at all to talk about mangroves with the Turkey people, because it would not fit them. And we also focus it in the fresh water and the water regulation, which is the business of the company, making it easier to persuade the people in the company. Okay.
In my team here, we chose agriculture in Jeju as the location and the sector. One of the comments from our group was that you need to put things into kind of like a simple perspective. I think there's really a lot of choices here in this example. And I suppose it's about picking up the material issues, the really critical issues for that region and for that sector. Some of the things that were all discarded the quickest were like polar, of course, dry land, and the urban areas are not as relevant here. There are some urban areas in Jeju, but they're not. It's not like a massive metropolis. The other thing is, of course, we don't actually know Jeju that well, so we were discussing from I suppose a layman's point of view. Although if we were saying if we have this exercise with a Korean audience, then of course it would be good to have it translated and customized. Also, somebody in our team provided a recommendation that, for instance, for this exercise, it would also be good to have a heading and then people also filling in the different ecosystem services as a way of also testing them in what they have learned and to instigate participation.
Okay, so this table the precision were more general topics, but we focus in some ideas that came from the people at the table. Put some examples into this slide to be easy to understand what we're talking about. Maybe less simple. We talk about maybe deleting some of the things because it doesn't make sense for all the audiences or all the different kind of businesses, all the different parts of the landscape. Also, we talk about changing the picture, put a landscape more familiar to the business. Maybe deleting the text, as Pilar said, and let the people to feel the things in the template. So that could be some changes that will be improved to training for the audience.
Okay, table 3, they took a diverse view of this exercise because it depends on really the sector and even the area of what we're looking at. And they are actually looking at really removing some of the elements that are not relevant with respect to what we'll be looking at. And that's it.
where is the Paolo?
Good.
Yeah, thank you for the slides. Sorry. So. Okay, so. Well, as we said before, we as FLTs has worked trying to develop some executive summaries of BERT customized for some countries and industries. We work in particularly for customizing for China, Thailand, and Korea, and also for mining sector. We start talking about customizing for regions and for sectors because it's not only about the differences between the cultural difference between each country, it's also the business culture. Of course, a mining company or a forestry, they have different business culture and they talk about different things. Maybe some companies, because of the kind of business, they are not so related with the environment and the downsides. So that's why we choose different things to make examples. And these examples are also available in the World Business Council webpage. So here are some examples of what the team has developed, and some examples that how you can customize the same slide for different audiences. So in the first slide is a slide for mining customization, and as you can see there are many examples of mining companies. This is because, of course, the audience is going to be more engaged if you put many examples as possible of the business or of the country they are. The second slide, that is the top right, there is some examples, some general examples of companies taking action, but the facilitator has added a particular example from China that is really good because people is going to say, oh, this is a company I know, and I know what they are doing. Also, you can go further. Maybe you can add some slide full of examples for one country. That is what we have done Thai customization. This is a full slide with examples of Thai companies. And if you were to go further, also you can maybe translate some part of the text because, for example, this slide is part of the customization for Korea. The facilitator has translated the name of the companies. Maybe the audience is going to know the companies and they know the names maybe Korean. Maybe for them it's going to be more difficult to identify the other things. So you can go farther, and maybe just translate all the slide. You must be careful when translating, as Masayuki said and as Pilar said. It's really difficult because sometimes it's not just to translate the words, it's a lot of content behind the meaning of the words. So that's why you really must be careful when translating. And another example of putting some case studies of general companies, some different companies of the world, but also using focus examples like PepsiCo in China, that is for the Chinese customization. So we do know that it's really difficult to find case studies for different companies. So there are many case studies that you can use in the World Business Council webpage, but also it's a good idea maybe to review some companies' webpages. By example, Paolo that have worked in customization for mining, there were not enough examples for mining, so he just go directly to the webpage, and then he get a lot of information of what mining companies are doing, like in this example for BHP, or in this example we have also some particular companies for Thailand. So that's the idea. The idea is that you can use the material for engaging the readings. Of course, you can modify whatever you want. So that is the message we wanted to give you. So, Leonardo?
In conclusion, BERT is a program that can be easily customized according to the is a program that can be easily customized according to the learner's needs, as well as specific companies, sectors,
audiences and regions. Customization is essential to easily engage the audience. So it's important to provide a lot of examples, studies of similar companies, so that people can recognize opportunities for their business. And it's also important to adjust that according to cultural differences and regions and target audiences. So we think that these 4 points are the main key learnings to take into account if we want to customize that. So the first, use the relevant